You are listening to episode 58 of the Underhook Show. My name is Steve, as always, alongside my co-host Chris. Chris, we are back for a little bit, but we're back.
Back. Mother Nature's cooperating with us for a little bit, and finally we're able to talk wrestling. I'm very happy to talk wrestling. Finally, normality
Yes,
a little bit.
yes. So, for context, we were supposed to be on a brief hiatus while I got some teeth taken out. And the morning of my surgery, I needed a boat to get out of my neighborhood because somehow Northwest Indiana was subject to a derecho storm, and it screwed a lot of things up. And so my surgery is postponed. Chris didn't have power or internet for a long time, so the show was still on hiatus. But thankfully, the worst of the weather is behind us, and I will have a window here to preview and review the biggest show on AEW's calendar, All in London, with my good friend here.
What happened? Hello?
You good?
Oh,
I still got
cool.
you. I still got you.
My screen cut off for a second. Got a little scared. Okay, yeah, but yeah, no, I'm happy to talk wrestling. I mean, like I said, it's been crazy. I was reading books. I felt Amish for a little bit there. But hey, I'm happy to be breathing because a lot of people are still without power and can only be grateful that we have power and that we're still here to be talking about this little thing we call wrestling.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But it is it's All In week, if you could believe that. We, throughout the last year, a lot of our conversation is framed as this is the direction they're going towards this big show. Things like Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay and their backstage segments, things like the Bucks creeping back into the tag title scene, knowing that it would eventually be them and Edge and Christian and some guys that aren't in the match that we thought might have been.
I think they might show up though.
Yeah,
because they're wrestling a show Saturday in England.
Yes, we'll talk about that too.
Excuse me.
No, but it's finally here.
I can't wait, man. This is my favorite. This is my favorite time of the year, man.
Yeah, it's strange though. It doesn't feel like the big week. You know what I mean? I understand that we're knocked off our axis 100%, but it's such a strange build. Last time we spoke, we were talking about these town hall Omega and Ospreay segments. Omega wasn't even here for Go Home. The program that you and I were the most invested in, Willow and Mercedes, only got like a quick backstage thing. Where are you at with the build for this show? Like, where's your excitement levels at?
I'm not as excited as I was last year for All In, but there's some good matches on the card still that I'm excited to talk to you about. I love an early afternoon pay-per-view, so I'm locking in anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, this card right, the Go Home show was very not Go Home-esque per usual, per AEW standards, but this one especially, other than the two Continental matches, and even those matches were really nothing to write home about, in my opinion. But we'll get to it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a little heat check here, just because, this is, for a lack of better words, this is AEW's WrestleMania. But man, between the lackluster build and
there was no, sorry not to cut you off, but there was no Darby or Kevin Knight on this show either.
There was a lot of people weren't on the show. Maybe there was issues getting into the country. Obviously, you have the buffer of the extra days, especially when they're 6 hours ahead as well, which is why the show is taped. And I had some friends in the building tonight, so I hope they had a good time. But yeah, this was a weird one. We could talk about it top to bottom, preview the All-In card, and some of the other things going on over the weekend. So let's head into that with the typical Underhook Dynamite review
Before we start,
yeah,
I want to give a sky point to Dolly Parton.
Yep, Sky Point, Dolly Parton,
and Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, yeah,
aka Curry Man.
First time I saw Tim Curry was in an episode of Psych after Monday Night Raw.
First time I saw Tim Curry was Home Alone 2, I think, maybe. Because I'm still yet to see Rocky Horror Picture Show. So.
The first time I saw it, I didn't see it properly.
Yeah.
Do you remember like some of the art theater shows where they would just like play movies on the projector screen while bands are playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were playing Rocky Horror during that, and I didn't realize that was Tim Curry, but Tim Curry rules, dude.
Yeah, Tim Curry's awesome. I respect him, but like, sky point to both of them because Dolly Parton.
Dolly's a huge one. Yeah,
Dolly gives my kids books, so shout out.
Yeah, Dolly was a real one. She'll be missed. I went to her theme park once and had a good time. And yeah, overall an icon, man. It's a huge loss. They say the worst come in threes, but I really hope it's not true. I don't want to
Well, I
put that
mean,
in the universe.
there was three because that Hayden lady passed away too.
Yeah, dude, that's right. Wow,
Yeah,
my
I
sense
can't
of time right now is all screwed up.
I can't remember her. I don't want to pronounce her last name and disrespect her, but she was in Remember the Titans. So
And Heroes, and she wasn't old, man. She was like
she was
36.
our age.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Well, I hope that is the extent of the grief that a lot of people are enduring right now. Skypoint to the lost.
Spin around and make people happy again.
Yeah, I was about 4 minutes late to Dynamite, but luckily they opened the show with a little Osprey promo, so I knew it was going to go long.
Yeah, you know,
Even
oh my god, even without Omega, this shit still went long.
even with very clear cut edits on this, like man,
Oh my god, there was.
there was some, and I understand like you're
Well, so this is how okay, because going into it, I am very let's see, how do I say? I've been eating chocolate, I should say, and
yeah,
I was like, man, this promo seems a little weird. And that's how I knew it was taped, my friends, because it was edited. I didn't know.
yeah.
I forgot we were in Scotland for a second.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what they would cut out between. I don't know if there was some colorful language around, or maybe Osprey got just a little too long in the tooth. I understand too. This is like his crowning moment for UK wrestling and all that jazz. But
Yeah, I mean, he shouted out all the dogs, Kurt Travis,
yeah,
all of them.
the thing that was really strange to me, didn't Kenny Omega just not turn heel last week and nobody's talking about it?
Yeah,
Like he was doing all like the crazy facial expressions and like just absolutely like just shit canned Osprey at the end of last week's show.
but see, and that's my
Because
thing. Now, okay, now my thing. I have a question though.
yeah,
Is it him turning heel, or is it him just doing everything he can because he knows that this is it? You know what I'm saying? Like this is his last run.
maybe I think that they needed to force an issue because
They needed to have something going into this match
yeah, yeah,
other than the obvious.
they needed to force the issue because like Osprey's the, for lack of better words here, the hometown hero, and they need to, they need some heat to this, which I don't think an Osprey Omega match actually did need that, because the kind of big match wrestlers they are, whether it's your taste, like for your taste or not, it's very much about the bell to bell and just the actual like who is the better man with all this crazy mind bending shit that they're gonna do in this match. You think back to like Okada and Omega and how it was like just like the pinnacle of the physicality of the sport, right? Having these 80-minute spectacles and all this shit. And I don't think I mean, God, Kenny and Osprey are not going to go 80 minutes, but the type of match they're going to have, right? I don't think it necessitated anybody turning heel. And they booked themselves into a corner with that because Kenny winning felt like this victory lap. Anybody beating MJF is going to be like this huge, like celebratory thing. And they only had so much time to work with. This might have actually been a case where it might have been almost better that he won the belt before Montreal. Because think about how quick they would have to turn around him winning the belt and turning heel.
I get that.
Yeah, I just felt it was really strange that. Now, I understand Omega hasn't exactly been able to go to foreign countries now with his condition. That's why I missed out on the Mexico show, and that's why I wasn't here in Scotland. But he couldn't have even like pre-taped something. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't have done the sit-down thing here, even though I really didn't enjoy the sit-down thing from a couple of weeks ago.
Saying I feel like they're just like rushing this whole thing, or like I don't know. And I know you can't recreate what the Death Riders Hangman story was, but you could have did something here.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm not excited for the match, but the 50-minute promos and the is Kenny heel dialect, it's not.
I even think he could have leaned heel in the match, given like how invested the crowd's going to be in Osprey. Well, how invested they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll get a great reception regardless. But I don't know. It feels like they really just kind of winged it here, and it didn't really go well. AEW really only had one shot at doing this though. Like I know that they've ran Osprey and Omega in AEW before, but this is like main event of your biggest show of the year in the stadium. You're not going to get this shot again. So I think ending's paramount. people are really only going to remember the match. So in hindsight, I guess you cut your losses with it. But nothing that they did made me more or less excited for the match.
I'm still kind of in the hype package at the end got me more excited than what they've been doing in the actual ring.
Yeah, exactly, and especially how they were able to pull all that footage. That was really cool.
I love that hype package at the end, but
Yeah,
that's what's been getting me like excited for the match. Is that not what they've been actually trying to sell me?
yeah. Well, we can move on to the opening match: Claudio Castagnoli versus John Moxley, Continental Challenge Cup semifinal. Continental Cup has been carrying AEW television for me since it began. It's been very much a lot of our guys. Unfortunately, Eddie Kingston had to drop out of his match last week. I think this was supposed to be Kingston and Claudio here, or excuse me, Kingston and Moxley here, and I think they said he had like a personal issue.
Yeah, this match ruled. Not, I thought it was gonna be a little bit better, but I thought it was pretty
Yeah,
badass.
this was easily my favorite thing on the show tonight.
But yeah, probably mine too. And it's not. I mean, there's really not much to choose from. But I mean,
Sure, sure. These two, though, I mean, they don't miss. I think I preferred their match in, what was it, November in the C2. But that's also when Moxley was like doing the whole like he kind like the shit he was doing when he was champion, like, and like then losing to Darby. He was very much like a broken man, and he had to change something. This was just an outright wrestling contest, and it was tremendous. Obviously Claudio working the arm a bunch, but man, like Claudio doesn't get enough credit for how good he is on the mat. And same with Moxley, I would say. And they got to showcase that here. Both of the tournament matches tonight were very much mat based in different styles. This was a lot more of a not shoot, but you know what I mean. It was grittier, uglier. I like how Claudio had to keep going to the swing just to kind of get something and like space himself out with Moxley. Two sick variations too. Yeah, the one on the outside and like Claudio doing the sleeper swing is always insane.
the one on the outside. I was like, he's not that close to the guardrail, and he just flung him. I
Yeah,
was like, he still made it.
yeah. No, Claudio's a beast, and I do like how it's not uncommon that you're always putting over how Claudio has the strength advantage. Here, it wasn't in so much of how he could just like throw Moxley around, but it was like he couldn't break a lot of his S grips when he was in certain holds. Like he tried biting his hand, and Claudio's like, nope, like still keeping this hold on. And I really appreciate when you get into the details like that. Sick match. I mean, if you like what Moxley or Claudio do, you're gonna like this. And I would say if you didn't watch Dynamite, go out of your way for this match in particular.
If you didn't watch Dynamite, you didn't really miss much, but this match was pretty sweet. This and the other Continental Classic match.
Yeah, and we figured Moxley would get to the final to defend because Moxley didn't really have much to do until Ospreay wins this belt. So I think this was like a nice way to get there. And like I talked about in our last episode, the reason why they're doing knockout tournament here is because in English soccer or football, they do 2 knockout tournaments per year that end at Wembley Stadium. Tony Khan is the sporting director for Fulham. His family owns the team. So this is kind of their nod to the FA Cup in particular. Yeah, really good match. Really good match.
Solid opener for a go home show.
Yeah.
It's so weird. There's nothing else that I can't even call it a go home show. I don't think.
It really didn't feel like it much.
I will say pay attention to who was with who during their entrances though for that match with Mox and Claudio. Because with Mox it was Gabe Kidd and Garcia, but then with Claudio it was Utes and Pac. I don't know if that means anything, but AEW likes to do that little subtle stuff. So
That's a great observation. I didn't really sense any infighting here, even though there's been a lot of like Death Rider versus Death Rider matches. They had to do Garcia versus Claudio on Collision, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I mean, on paper, that sounds pretty sweet.
yeah, but there was like I guess a backstage segment after that. It sounded like I don't know. I didn't watch it, but I heard there was.
Was there? Did I miss it?
There was
Maybe
something
I
about
missed it.
like I think it was Utes. Like Uta was like, who we cheer for, or something like that, kind of, or who we root for. I don't know, something like that.
Mhm.
Nothing like in particular, but you know how
Yeah.
AEW is.
Yeah. Next was the obligatory. We're gonna roll out Edge to a foreign audience as he teamed with the Young Bucks against the Don Callis family. Nothing to write home about here for me.
This was my plus 10 of the night. I went and got food during this one. So,
Yeah, this is whatever. I mean, I'll be real though. No Lance Archer here, so
yeah, that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. That ain't the money.
yeah, no swag, no money, no time.
Either last week he wrestled. Last week ratings were up.
Yeah, come on, simple math. Yeah, I mean, we're finally here. Like we can get this match over with between the Bucks and Edge and Christian. I'm very surprised it is just a straight up tag match, but I feel like for the Bucks legacy that they would want that. Have they? Cause I haven't been able to tune into Collision very much. Have they done anything with the machine guns yet?
To my knowledge, no.
According to Shelley's cage match, he hasn't wrestled yet. I think they're supposed to be feuding with the Swirl though, which sounds like a very much like just a nice TV Collision feud for them.
That's not bad. Swirl, new trios champions, Ring of Honor.
Yeah. I haven't watched anything from Death Before Dishonor yet. Heard some really good things about the Garcia Adam Priest match. Yeah. I'm finally catching up on 2026 stuff, which I didn't really do the typical intro thing, but I mean, since we don't have much to say about the Bucks Edge match, what have you been watching otherwise? Well, I mean, just in spite of the circumstances.
I didn't really watch too much of anything. I did check out the La Parca Penta match from Raw because I
Hmm.
like me some La Parca. It's a good nice little match. Now you're gonna have the Lucha Brothers going on TV.
That'll
So
be cool.
not yet, good TV match there. Other than that, I haven't really been watching anything, man. To be honest, I
I
really
heard.
have
Oh,
had internet.
sorry. Yeah, I should have thought about that before asking. I heard Ray versus Gable was like excellent. So,
Gable's been on
so
a run, but his music horrible. So
yeah, I got it all on the docket. I've gone through February, which I ended February on Mad Dog Connolly versus Slade from Dean. You gotta go out of your way to watch this match if you haven't seen it. It is only 6 minutes long, and without spoiling too much, there is I don't know if you want to call it a spot, but a moment in the match where Slade draws blood on contact from a shoot headbutt while Mad Dog is attempting to gouge his eyes out.
say no more. I'm locking in.
Yeah, dude. Like that's what I'm talking about. That's the real shit right
This is
there.
professional wrestling right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was insane. I love the match. Yeah, so that was one I wanted to shout out on here, and I'm putting ECW on ice for a little bit just because it was something I will plug at the end of this. But yeah, Mad Dog Connolly versus Slade. Check it out. Post match promo. I never was huge on Edge and Christian being tag champs and like being so separated. Like I know they're not going to be like coming out in the sunglasses and all that shit anymore, but like they still just feel disjointed as a team, and maybe that's what's going to cause them to lose. But I don't know. This is another one of those matches that never felt like there was really much behind it. It just feels obligatory to me.
So it's like, oh, they're here. We gotta do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. But there's a certain scene that might.
Yeah, which FTR versus Cowboy Way on Saturday.
It has us written all.
Sign me up, dude.
I was like, that has me written all over it.
Yeah, Cowboy Way are awesome.
I seen that. I seen the promo for that, and I was like, oh, Saturday in Wembley, huh? Well, you're gonna be there. Why not just show up, right?
Hmm. Yeah, that looks really good. And then was it Zack Sabre Jr. versus Jay Joshua as well? So might be some stuff on those. I know they do the big Rev Pro show now, like around. They always have their anniversary show, but like when AEW's in England, they try to plan it around then. My only issue is like it's 2026. Rev Pro's audio production is still just horrible.
They still have like the Burger King microphones.
Yep. Sounds like you got the soup can with the string on the end of it.
Progress used to do that all the time.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that's rough about getting through those. But I don't have a pulse on the Brit rest scene at the moment, so maybe I'll check some of that out and walk away with some
The only
new
guy I knew was
faces
in
and
TNA
names.
now, so
Yeah, but yeah, Cowboy Way FTR, that should be really good for the uninitiated. It's Manders and Thomas Shire, and they are just like they're similar to FTR. They're like a throwback team, but they're just like no nonsense ass kickers.
I'm surprised Manders hasn't gotten signed yet.
Yeah, yeah, you'd think by this point. I don't feel like he's gotten much to do as far as like ROH tapings or anything like that either. He's been very much sticking to the indie circuit. Maybe next year. I feel like he's getting more and more in WXW. So maybe if like I don't know.
That's the
Yeah,
one in Germany, right?
yeah. So maybe if he has like a deep running carrot before WrestleMania weekend and has a well, like whatever the fuck WrestleMania weekend's gonna look like next year. You know what I mean. Anyways, back to All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. Don Callis promo. I believe they're saying that Mark Davis is in the Casino Gauntlet. That makes perfect sense. That's the perfect spot for him on the show.
I mean, get that payday.
Yeah.
We'll say this episode is very pace weird, so bear with us, folks. All right.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if we'll have a ton more tangents, but we got I feel like we got a bunch of promos here. Yeah, I got 3 in a row.
Yeah, it's promo city now.
Yeah. Have we talked about this MJF One True Champion thing on the show?
I think we made comment of it because I said OTC and I said, really, guys, I don't like it. So yeah, we did.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. Because I don't like it either. But I think they've done well enough building, like, which is funny that one of the matches that they have invested into a build is not a straight up singles match. They're just gonna open the Casino Gauntlet, but Andrade being this featured on the big show
I feel
is.
like we might get the blow off at our show though.
I hope so because I don't want to see an MJF Osprey title match, especially this soon into his reign.
Yeah, no. Give him somebody new.
Give him something new, or just do the Moxley match, like because you've been building towards that. You know what I mean?
Well, we forget about that because they haven't done much since they haven't mentioned it.
Right. Yeah. Nice fake out there with Andrade coming through the crowd with a bit of a pull apart.
Giving the British FU to MJF. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. And then there was like just some kid on the barricade who was just flipping him the bird.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was awesome.
I said, "Oh man, I love wrestling."
Yeah.
My man over here just straight giving him that British FU. I love that. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. I'm actually excited for a potential like a proper Andrade MJF blow off. I still am not a fan of this OTC gimmick, especially because that's like almost like a get out of jail free card to just like challenge for the world title.
Yeah.
Which is why I think he might actually win. However, we can talk about that when we get to the pay per view preview. Another back.
I just don't like it because I just feel like they're ripping off. They're trying to like mock WWE because that's OTC is what Roman Reigns calls himself.
Yeah, and that seems very like not too uncommon for MJF, and it's also like eventually you got to stop poking fun at them, right?
Like low hanging fruit, right? Like
yeah,
like we're better. We're like I don't. Wrestling companies are always better off when they don't talk about the other company. It's like just focus on your shit.
Well, another question too. Like, who's watching both right now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not me at 38 years old. I'll tell you that. I don't
Like,
have I don't have time.
like we'll cherry pick matches, and like when they're doing something cool, like we'll talk about it on here. Like, I need to catch up on the Punk Owens stuff, and then eventually I'm sure they're gonna do like
I did see that
Punk
match
Owens,
too. That
Punk
match was
Owens,
awesome.
Sammy. Yeah, like that's a no brainer, right? That's a gimme. Like I'm going to watch that eventually, and I'm sure when they're counter programming, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Punk Owens, Sammy, which
Worlds Collide.
I think so, right? Sammy got involved and all that stuff. And then obviously Punk took the belt off of Sammy. So
I do like the solo Sokoa stuff they got because he is funny. That man.
I've seen the clips, and yeah, like he's his slapstick stuff. I was like, yeah, it's funny, but
when I need to laugh, it's there. But
the point I was trying to make though was like think back to post pandemic, like when fans were allowed to come back to shows again. Obviously, circumstances were different when you had something like Punk coming out of retirement or hiatus or however, and that was always going to be a big deal regardless of where he went. But it was like you had the Tribal Chief stuff when it was new-ish, and AEW's catching fire, and like they signed Danielson, they signed Punk, and it was like there was a good stretch of a couple of years. Probably, I was even watching both consistently until about I think SummerSlam 2024 was where I really started to fall off from WWE. But now I feel like since the Netflix stuff, WWE's so far into their own thing, and AEW has their people, right? So I'm kind of just sitting here as like just a wrestling fan going, well, we're going to talk about this show, so I'm going to watch it. But there hasn't been anything going on in WWE in years that has me like tuning in week to week. And because of how like WWE audiences are very much WWE audiences. How much of the other show are they watching? So I think when you are, taking digs, like OTC is different because it's Roman, but it's like things are gonna go over people's heads. You know what I mean? That's my point.
It's all like there's a niche audience you're talking to, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, so like that's why I'm like, it's not one of those things where I'm like, I mean, I'm not expecting like a wrestling company to ever take the high road, but at the same time, it's like it needs to land if you're gonna do it.
And it's not
So
like
yeah. Speaking of Chris Jericho backstage promo,
yep.
I'm not mad that he's in the Casino Gauntlet because Jericho's actually in one of the big get guys on the show matches instead of having a featured match on All In. I don't think he was on the show at all last year, if I'm not mistaken, but he's not going out there to wrestle Hook for like 20 minutes.
I mean, I guess it's the best it could be.
Best case scenario is just to throw him in this or something on the pre-show, and then he'll go make his appearance. They'll sing his song, and then we're not dedicating a singles match slot to this unless in some like multiverse realm that we get shot into where the main event of All Out is Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho.
I'll sell my ticket.
We just leave early.
Yeah, I'm like the rest. We got to beat traffic from Worlds Collide, so we got to go, guys. So
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pack like a cooler of food for that traffic.
oh man. All right, told Josh, I was like, all right, what's the game plan? What time we leaving?
Yeah. Hey, you never know. When they did this with All Out last year, they made All Out an earlier show. It just obviously wasn't in the same city.
Yeah,
As long as we get there and like I actually make it to a wrestling show, then like yeah, it'll be cool. Oh yeah, I'm due, man. I'm due to make one. So Kyle O'Reilly versus Nigel McGuinness in the other semifinal. Winner faces Moxley at Wembley. This kind of looked like exactly what I thought it was going to look like. Oh yeah, especially with Nigel's background. I just the thing is too like I said, like these two, they obviously are doing like the dueling pendulum lariats and all that stuff. I feel like Nigel wanted this match for a long time. I feel like he was somebody who always sang Kyle's praises when he was calling his matches, and they really haven't had a chance to do this. So it was cool to see them do it. Maybe some of the standoffs were a little too played out for me, but as far as everything they were doing in here, I liked it very much.
What's his face? Got that goose egg.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta watch his whole past the tournament. I also heard Nigel Shibata was pretty good.
Oh,
In that.
that goose egg happened in the match.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think he was there when he came out, but it had to have happened when he was there. But
Maybe was it with one of the lariats?
maybe. But I looked up and I said, "Why does his eye look swollen?" But
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle is in the gauntlet, man. Obviously, if he's okay.
yeah, I'm assuming we get a lot of the ones that are in the tournament. Orange will probably be there, and
Yeah, but yeah. Nigel makes Orange tap. We're getting Orange versus Moxley. I hope that there's some sort of promo on Collision because I said with the idea that this might be it for Nigel. I think for an English wrestler having the chance to wrestle at Wembley Stadium, that's not something that you could just, it's not something that they take lightly. And before he dropped out of the ROH match, he had the stip that if he lost to Lee, that he would never wrestle in ROH again. So I'm almost thinking, but I feel like if that was the case, he would have like announced it by now, right?
I think he's just gonna wait till he's there, bro. Leave the boots in the ring situation.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Because like he didn't wrestle that match with Lee, right? 'Cause he was hurt. He didn't wrestle.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did. Because I wanted to watch. I was gonna tune in anyway. Like I said, I forgot. But then I seen like the thing that said Nigel wasn't wrestling it. So
I have to. By the way, I have to see the context of this. But I'm sticking to keeping my match log updated, even if I'm not seeing everything as it happens. Moriarty teamed with the Hurt Syndicate.
yeah. So okay. So I seen a clip of this, right? And he teamed with the Hurt Syndicate, but they couldn't pay for the full time, so they only stayed in the ring for a minute, and then they left Moriarty by himself.
Okay, that's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
But
They said,
it makes you think, though, if that's the way to get him on TV regularly.
yeah, true. Be down with that.
And a certain match needs trios teams in it. That, once again, Was not mentioned on this show. We'll talk about it when we get to the pay-per-view preview. Yeah.
Main event was weird. Everything was weird.
A couple more things before we get to that, though. I want to talk about, you know what's crazy, though? Both Fletcher and Okada suits.
Yeah, I was gonna say Okada. I did have one note from tonight. Look at the new drip god Okada,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he went. He,
Him and Lance Archer were in London town shopping designer for that.
I said, my man out here. Woo. Fletcher always got the fit. I ain't got to worry about Fletch. Fletch, he already learned from
Mhm.
Archer, but now you got Okada learn from Archer. Yeah,
It looked like a suit made out of bandanas.
hey, it's like something you see like a homies character wearing.
Crazy cool. Love it. Brawling Birds and My World versus Divine Dominion and Persephone. Bit of a like road to Tokyo Dome tag here, right? Persephone pinning Maya, maybe they'll do something with that, whether it's pre-show or TV after. I don't think this will get on the card because they were pretty gun shy about adding matches to this card because I feel like everything is going to get a ton of time. And go home math would also imply that the English are going to be winning those tag belts.
Kind of already assumed anyway.
It's time though, man. What, they've had these belts since February or something?
And if you weren't gonna give it to who the hell they wrestled somebody, and I forgot who it was. We thought they were gonna win, but besides the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time. Give it to an actual, I'm saying, a face team, because you could do more with a face tag team than you could a heel tag team right now. So
Yeah.
because you got the Sisters of Sin, all that, or Triangles of Madness. I mean,
And I'll save my thoughts for the potential tag match as we come up. Once again, I mean, this was a fine TV 6-man on a show with a couple of those. So just hey, they keep in my world on TV though. It's a good thing.
give the belt to Persephone, because I wouldn't be mad.
No, I think we just talking about this now. I think that they kind of dropped the ball with Billy Starks being the one to beat Athena. So if this was kind of the test run for my world as a TV wrestler, which she passed with flying colors, don't get it twisted. She like they needed somebody like her to freshen things up, especially with baby faces. I think that you can have my world win at Final Battle. Yeah, give her the ROH belt, face of that company for a little bit, and then get her back up on AEW television. Not that they're ever hesitant with having ROH champions on AEW TV. But I mean, as far as like, she had the big Mercedes match. She had a match with Athena on Collision that got a ton of time, and it's like if you're giving my world these big title matches, and she's thriving in that environment, then it's time. Then we're talking big belt next year. Yeah. I also didn't get to talk about it because we like in the weeks that we weren't doing the shows, but Chris Statlander's been like on an incredible run, and she wasn't on the show, but like in the couple matches she was in the last couple of weeks, like Stat looks really fresh.
Better, like more healthy is what we're
Yeah, like easily the best part of the matches she was involved with, and she got her old music back too, and just feels like all right, maybe like we're not completely out on Stat like her as a company is it because she's one of my favorites, and I want more for her. So I would really appreciate it if we got more for Stat around the corner.
appreciate if Stokely came back.
Yeah. Back from commercial, Jungle Man Jack Perry versus Swerve Strickland. This is so weird to me. Like, not the match. The match was fine, but
No,
this was
the match was
what's
fine,
it?
but the reasoning is weird. Like, what's the point?
Well, because we can talk about the trios thing now. You spent a lot of TV time where like Swerve's finally back. He's back in Hangman's orbit, which I figured that they would be. I thought that it was just going to be a singles with them at Wembley because that's like the one thing that they haven't done is run Swerve and Hangman in a stadium. And you had these town halls with like billion people out there. I mean, Gates of Agony TV time, so that's a victory. This whole like who's gonna wrestle for the trios belts wasn't mentioned at all. So they have to do it on Collision or pre-tape it. I'm just gonna even look for Collision spoilers right now because
It's gonna be I'm telling you, they're not gonna mention it. It's just gonna be a surprise, and that's how you're gonna get Because okay, if Tony Khan likes wrestling repeating itself, right? You could do how they did it at WrestleMania when the Hardy Boys came back. When the New Day announced the Hardy Boys come back, you have all the teams in the ring, and then that's when the New Day comes out with Swerve. Makes more sense.
Hmm.
I feel like that was going to happen because they said just meet us in the ring, so it's just going to be a surprise there. I don't think they're going to mention anything until day of, which is not.
So without getting into spoiler territory, there is a Kevin Knight Darby segment on Collision. So that's their go home is on Collision. And there was a 12-man tag with the trios belts, and there's some run-ins at the end. So it might be, I don't know if they're gonna do a gauntlet or like just like a big match, like a billion people in it. But the fact that they spent that much time like hinting towards this and it wasn't even mentioned on the Go Home Dynamite when like the fact of the matter is like I do appreciate that like there is important things happening on Collision again, but this is your Go Home Dynamite to the biggest show of the year, and you just like didn't even mention this. So that's why when I saw that the main event was over before 9, cool, like maybe we're gonna have like a segment to send us off. Nope, it was just that, to their credit, very well done. A video package for Omega Osprey, that was Dynamite. Oh yeah. It was nice that a show didn't end like after 9:30, but
45.
yeah. So that was weird. I'm sure we'll have clarity on that on 24-hour notice. I'm sure it'll be a ladder match again. They've done ladder match for the trios belts before, and Tony Khan booking parallels. Yeah, that's what I mean. So because of that, I'm thinking like we're just gonna do it again. I feel like AEW hasn't done a ladder match in a while since, and you know what? They did one in Montreal. Excuse me. But like I said, well, this type of match happened in this building in the past. We're gonna do it again.
Why they didn't do the tag match a ladder match then? If they're doing this one a ladder match.
Yeah, so I would hold off for that. The only thing I could think of besides that is if they just put all the baby faces and heels on different sides and do a stadium stampede, because that wasn't announced. But Darby and Kevin Knight's Falls Count Anywhere.
Adam Page also announced it was for. Oh, you mean like? Well, I mean, Adam Page said it was challenge for the trios titles. So either way,
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
yeah.
I'm sure though if they do like the two demand teams, the good, the bad, and the ugly, or whatever they're going by now, the champs, and then like the Death Riders and the Dogs and Bang Bang Gang, that would be a lot of fun. Like I know I sound like I'm just shitting on this match, but like I actually think that the match will be fun. It was just so strange that like you had all this promo time and you had Swerve involved. Where does he fit in this now?
I'm saying last week you had him out here. You were saying like, don't
Unless the only other thing I could think of is that Hangman retains, like Hangman's team retains, and then you get the big New Day rollout. They're not going to wrestle on the show. So yeah, let's find the all-in card and go from the top.
Ready.
Oh my goodness, I'm going into January here. They usually do surprises, and we should do the game again where we throw out a realistic one and then just the crazy one, which I believe yours last year was Monty Brown. That did not happen because we can't have shit in this household. Right. Well, that's a good place to start. First match listed on the cage match is Adam Page and Brodito versus 3 teams in question mark. So that would imply at least 4. But given all the people that were in the match on, well, I guess, well, so essentially it was 4 teams were in the tag match and then 2 teams ran in afterwards. Swerve was not a part of any of them. So it was just Death Riders and the Dogs, for spoilers. But it doesn't say any stip. It just says a match. So whether it's just a big multi-man or a stip, I'm sure that'll still be fun. And given that Swerve isn't involved, I would suggest that the baby faces retain and then Swerve and possibly the New Day challenge.
That makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Get the big shock afterwards.
Yeah. Next, the international title triple threat, which again, another match where we know that we're gonna get to this, and now we're finally here. I called it saying that it was gonna be for all 3 belts. It was only for the one. But nonetheless, Fletcher's defending against Okada and Takeshita. The big Don Callis family blow off. I think Fletcher leaves the family after this match. Do you think he wins though?
Oh yeah, let's see it. Yeah, I'll take Fletch.
Yeah, I feel like Okada has to take the pin. Not sure if he does though.
You can paint Takeshi. He's still not going to lose any momentum because if it's Fletch,
Yeah. Do you think this splinters off into Fletcher Okada at all out?
So,
Yeah.
God, I hope so. I hope we get that.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, they ran that match in Chicago. No, they didn't. That was Okada Takeshita. My mistake. They'll run in Chicago now. Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin, Falls Count Anywhere TNT title match. Probably the match I'm most excited for on this whole card, with maybe the exception of one. I mean, Darby Allin's at the point where like he hurt or a loss is not going to hurt him. You got to keep going with Kevin Knight.
Yeah, this kid. He almost set him on fire. Come on, man.
Yeah, we're going to see something crazy in this match. I don't know what.
He ain't gonna waterboard him.
I joked about Darby jumping off of the Wembley Arch before, but I don't think that's on the cards because the Wembley Arch is a good like 200 feet above the stadium.
I'll die. I don't want to see a death.
No, we want to just see death match, right?
Yeah, Circle Six. Go to Mexico. AEW. Go to the junkyard.
You know what death match I actually did watch recently? The Judge Joe Dredd, Ricochet and Page, Barbed Wire Mountain.
I didn't see that yet.
It was from early March. Yeah, it was fine, but they did have a spot where there was just like a big ball of barbed wire that they were just throwing at each other. Yeah. 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 I'm sure we'll see some adjacent stuff here, whether it's explosives or, I mean, it's been, they've used explosives in this feud quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised in an outdoor stadium they'd be able to do it again. And Darby's going to jump off something really dumb, and it's going to be great.
I think this is probably the match I'm also most excited for. I'm just more excited for for me, All In, the crowd always gets me hype. Like if the crowd's live, like hype, I'm gonna be hype all night. So
Yeah, they do a good job of making it feel like a big deal. Like despite how like crap the bill's been, like when the day comes around, and like obviously UK doesn't get AEW too much. I think it's only like twice a year at this point. So yeah, they'll be up for it for sure. And I think they did like I'm not a pocket watcher or a ticket sale guy, but like I think they did 40K for this, which that's still really good for a wrestling show in this day and age.
yeah, going to France too.
Oh yeah, they are going to France for it's like a Grand Slam special.
Yeah, Fletcher said he's the porn star. I don't know if you saw that tweet or not.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he tweeted something out. I guess he thought it was French for protostar, but it says I'm the porn star. It's pretty
Man,
funny.
yeah, that's wild. One more thing on the Falls Count Anywhere match. Besides like the cage, I think this is going to be interesting. I know how much I talk about Kevin Knight on this show and his development. Have we seen him in like this sort of one-on-one, stepped up kind of match?
Size of the cage? No, to my knowledge, no.
Be really good for his range case when talking about Wrestler of the Year because it's not something we've seen a lot from him. So I'm really interested to see how he can. Well, one, I mean, Darby's obviously like he's going to be front running a lot of the creativity as far as like the spots and all that. But I mean, we talk about Kevin Knight, his athleticism, how he's going to be able to apply that into such a wild match. Like this, just it's so interesting, and I know it's just like I'm just going to be shrieking the whole time in laughter from just how like these two can pull off Looney Tunes violence, and it's going to be awesome. Next, AW Women's World Title match: Divine Dominion versus Brawling Birds. You and I both think the switch. It's about time for the title switch, especially I don't remember if they said if these two are London girls, but no, Jamie Hayter Southampton, which is on the coast, but I mean UK, it's kind of hometown for anybody at this point. But I think that this could be a bit of a sleeper hit. I feel like it's going to be put in a death spot, unfortunately. But when you do have the crowd advantage of an English team here, and I think I've taken a lot of these build-up tags for granted because in like the Mexico match and tonight, like Hayter and Windsor do work well with Cross and Bane. And depending on how much time they get, we might have, like I think this could be pretty good.
I love Jamie Hayter, so anything get her on my TV.
Yeah.
It has to be time. Put the belts on.
Yeah, and knock on wood here, I'll do it. Hayter's gotten a good stretch here of injury-free. So, and that's what I feel like has been keeping her off TV over the last couple of years. She's been kind of stop start with the concussions and stuff. So, hoping just for good things and for a clean bill of health because when she's on her day, she's still one of the best in that division.
Absolutely.
AW World Title #1 contendership Casino Gauntlet match. Confirmed on the cage matches Ciampa, El Idolo, MJF, and then on TV tonight was Mark Davis, Chris Jericho. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more Don Callis family in here, a conglomeration, depending on how long it goes. Now, the question always is, who are they going to roll out? Chris, one realistic, one fantasy book. Who do you got?
I'm trying to think of all the free agents, or even the people that might come back soon. You can't even think.
Mhm. I think the one a lot of people are going to be expecting is Sheamus.
Yeah, Sheamus, or I'm thinking maybe I don't think they re-signed Malachi Black again. So
No, I think that ship sailed.
yeah, so man, I'm gonna have to go. My realistic one will probably be Sheamus if they do have anybody coming out. And since I seen he was on a dark match, I'm gonna say Grado for the unrealistic one.
Yeah.
This one was hard because last year we thought we had him locked in. All right, I thought my Monty Brown one was a pretty good lock in.
Yeah, I mean he was at the convention the night before.
She's like, man, everyone else I could think of, there would be like, I don't know. I still think Bailey's gonna show up at one point. I don't know why, but I still think she's gonna.
Well, there's actually a couple of names in the if they did a women's one, like Kyrie Sane's right there,
Yeah, Kyrie,
or
Nikki
Kay,
Cross even.
Kaylee Ray as well. And Kaylee Ray's on the Rev Pro show the night before, but yeah, Sheamus feels like the chalk pick because I think his contract just went up. Like he doesn't have no compete.
I got a realistic one.
Who's that?
I'm taking back Sheamus. I got Johnny Gargano because I think he's gone.
Interesting.
I don't know how true that is, but that's going to be my wild card. That's mine because he took off because he's got like booking inquiries on his like socials and stuff.
DIY reunion part 2.
Oh, great!
Oh, dude, it says I show speeds out of a WWE contract. Put him in this match.
All right, fuck it. I show speed. Let's go.
It's one of the best things that in wrestling, like in the last few years, was him getting speared.
Yo, I will say though, for him being a streamer, he took it serious for a couple months there because he did that sweet frog splash. I would never do that.
Yeah. No, he. I mean, until they like went too overboard with the celebrity stuff. Like, I actually thought he was funny as hell
Well, that's
in
my
those
thing. It's
matches.
like I don't mind celebrities in light abundant. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't,
Hmm.
but don't keep pushing them down.
Yeah. So I'll go Sheamus. I know it's like the chalk pick, the boring pick, unrealistic pick. I really want to like go off the board here. Yeah, so I feel like everybody's signed or busy.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck it,
It's like,
fuck it, Bryan Danielson.
all right, here we go. We're back.
We're back. Bryan Danielson makes his big comeback after Nigel loses at Wembley Stadium because the balance has been restored.
Yeah, they're friends now, so it's okay.
Yeah,
They don't hate each other anymore.
yeah. It took Bryan getting murdered in Washington for Nigel to finally come around to him, but
For Nigel to have a heart.
yeah, man, that match to this day is still goated. But AW Continental Title Challenge Cup final, Jon Moxley defending against Nigel McGuinness. Moxley's, I think, needs to win simply because I mean, he hasn't had anything to do. I don't think Nigel needs the win per se. It would be a really feel good moment, but how often is he going to be able to defend that championship?
I think this is fortunately, well, we all know it's probably the end for Nigel.
Yeah, and I think he's just going to give it hell, and this could steal the show if this is really it. I talked about the Danielson match, or just mentioned it in passing, but like how good Moxley was in what was Danielson's quote unquote retirement match. That's why I was shocked that we didn't really have the notion of it happening. Because if we did, and you give Moxley like with that expectation to play with, oh my goodness, he could get that crowd like bang for blood. Yeah, really interesting match because obviously like we talked about, Moxley's ground game's better than I think people give him credit for. That's Nigel's bread and butter, but don't forget there was a time where Nigel he could slug it out at the very best. So I think that this could steal the show, depending on what version of Nigel we get, and I'm really excited for this match. Like I didn't,
That's how we're seeing Nigel in 2020.
yeah, I didn't really clock it until like saw the graphics on it. I'm like, oh shit, like we're actually getting John Moxley versus Nigel McGuinness. Like that's pretty cool. AW World Tag Team Title match: Cage and Cope defending against the Young Bucks. I mean, this is a formality if there ever was one. The Bucks kind of complete their quote unquote redemption arc that I feel like they completed months ago, but with the tag belts now and by winning. I mean, they have to, right?
Get the belts off Cage and Cope. It doesn't matter. I mean, we don't need this. We don't need the ladder match. We don't need. We know. But if you're gonna do the Bucks legacy run, start it now.
Yeah, because I mean, we talked about. I know they already ran it this year, but like, if this is kind of like the Bucks' greatest hits. The Machine Guns are here now. FTR obviously coming back. Or, yeah, Young Bucks New Day seems like the final frontier for them, like the one thing they haven't done. So yeah, this says Bucks winning written all over it. Also, I don't know if they've actually won in Wembley. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me look real quick. All Out 2023.
Swerve in.
Hang on. All in London 2023. FCR defeated the Young Bucks. What about 2024? God, this was a long pre-show that year. Oh no, the Bucks did win in 2024, so I stand corrected there. Still feels like they need to win this to do whatever they're going to do for their tag run to close out the year. And then we just got the 2 world title matches left to discuss. Willow Nightingale defending against Mercedes Moné for the women, a match that you and I are very excited for, despite that they did build correctly. I think that they have another segment on Collision, if I'm not mistaken.
We're both winning.
She has to, because I think if you take the belt from her now, I feel like she's going to be in the same boat as Stat, and you can't be doing that. It undoes a lot of goodwill, I think, to have Willow lose, and plus, like Mercedes doesn't lose a lot. I know she had to lose all those belts this year. I think having a sort of kryptonite, or in this case, just like one person who has her number and like one thing that she can't win, it gives her something to chase because like that reign that she went on. I mean, like, hey, big match Mercedes, big match Mercedes. You could put her, you could use her on all these cards, but like, I feel like if you just give her the world title now, then like, what else does she have to do? And this is only like year 3 for her. And this pairing, like, I think
They were great.
yeah, I would make the argument that at least in AEW, this is Mercedes' best opponent. This might be Will's best opponent, period, aside from maybe Athena. They're just tremendous together. They haven't missed, obviously, the broken foot. It's a New Japan, like that wasn't anybody's fault. But the 2 matches since Double or Nothing and then the New Year's Eve Dynamite, both amazing matches. And now you get the stadium version of that. I think this is going to be great. Wouldn't be surprised if it's the best thing on the entire card.
Yeah, between this and the Kevin Knight, these are the 2 matches I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, same. But still got the main event, which I know that the build has left a bad taste in our mouths. But
because this is my favorite fucking wrestler right now.
I was gonna say this is like his defining moment. Like, this is your guy's biggest moment of his career.
And I'm like, man, I want to be like, man, this is like, but I can't right now.
I'm sure they'll get you once the bell rings, man, because we keep talking about Ospreay and how much of the focus has been on Ospreay. But you made a really good point when I talked about the Kenny heel turn. I mean, even if Kenny, it's not like he's going away anytime soon. I'm sure he'll take a long break after this. But this is probably Omega's only all-in main event. Do you think he's going to leave it all out there? Yeah, so for that reason, I do think that this might exceed my own expectations for it, because like I'm sure we're getting the cleaner or whatever's left of him in this match.
The show got me That's what got me. I'm excited for that. That hype package alone. It showed the All Star Weekend, the match between the first time they wrestled on PWG,
Mm-hmm.
and then it showed the match in New Japan, and then it showed the matches clips from Forbidden Door. So man, it was good. I'm excited for this match because this is my guy. Like this is
Oh,
100%
yeah,
my favorite
like
wrestler right now.
this is it. You only get this moment once. Like he'll be a multiple time champion, like barring any unforeseen like circumstances. But like it's a big match. This is probably the last time these two are gonna have a singles match. And you think that they're gonna just unload the clip.
So the New Japan match, and he did that moonsault off the trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like those two, they put it on the line then.
Yeah, that's my favorite match of theirs by far. Kreutzer ass from the top rope, DDT in the turnbuckle post or ring post rather. Yeah, that match is nuts. And Kenny was at his absolute nastiest in that match. So maybe they want to recapture some of that here. Hence the whole last minute heel turn. But yeah, the build for this was all over the place. It wasn't very good, but I actually think, and I've been a detractor of AEW main event formula since we've been doing this show. But I actually think that these two can make magic again.
I'm not saying it's gonna be the build sucked. The build wasn't the best, but the match itself, we all know what these two are capable of, and I'm gonna go in with normal expectations, and I think they're gonna blow them out the water.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. So yeah, like talk myself into, I think we had to go through the motions here. Now the build's done, and then now we're like, okay, wait, it's still gonna be like a crazy, crazy, crazy match. That is all in London. I said the night before. There's the rep.